What's up, guys? Chun is back. I got another this is the continuation actually of the standard battle that I had against PacoAnduaga, who I found on the Apples Asylum's that chat. He challenged me. I accepted his challenge. Just to give you a quick recap, a lot of our sets have been revealed already. Feel free to check out part 1 if you haven't yet, and I'll either leave an annotation on this vid or leave a link in the description to it. But we're about halfway through the match here. I've got my Hippowdon out against his Zapdos, and after going for the Stealth Rocks, I decided to go for the Slack Off as he goes for the Heat Wave. And here I decide I'm just going to go for the Roar, actually. I believe so, because my Hippowdon really can't do anything to the Zapdos, and the Zapdos proved to be very, very annoying, as my team can't do much to it. As far as offense, Slowbro is the only one that can really hit it in that regard, and even then Slowbro has to come in safely. So I'm just debating what to do here. He goes for another Heat Wave, and I go for the Roar, because I know Heat Wave, unless he gets a crit, it won't do more than 38%, and luckily I am able to get his final Pokemon that I haven't seen yet, a Gallade. Now, seeing as he hasn't revealed it the entire match, I know this is going to be his sweeper, so unless Snorlax is a Curse-Lax set, which in this case, this is just one of his sweepers. So immediately I started thinking, okay, this is a Swords Dance set. I started doing calcs for damage, and the only way he can one-hit KO Hippowdon is if he gets a Swords Dance up and then hits me with a close combat. So I just decided at this point I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, just in case he wanted to set up a Swords Dance and see how much damage I could do. He actually goes for Drain Punch. And in hindsight, this is most likely a bulk up set, because I didn't notice the leftovers, and Swords Dance Gallades typically don't carry leftovers, they carry Life Orbs. So as soon as I saw the Drain Punch, I immediately realized that most likely this is a bulk up set with bulk up and Drain Punch, because that's the only set I know of that would carry leftovers. So he is actually going to switch out here, and I'm just going to go for the Slack Off at this point, because I really wasn't fearing that Gallade at that point, because I saw Drain Punch, so I knew it did not have close combat. So in comes this Zapdos again, and at this point I'm gonna have to force this Zapdos into a situation where he would have to roost, and I can catch it on the roost turn and hit it with an Earthquake with Hippowdon, but I've got to get Hippowdon out and force the Zapdos into that situation so I can bait the roost. So in the middle of this, just trying to figure it out how I can do it, and I go to Heatran to take the Heat Wave, but he goes for Discharge at that point. So I decide I'm just going to go back to Hippowdon, and he's going to switch out. He is going to go into Gallade again. Now, I'm really not quite sure why. Maybe he thought he could, he would live the next Earthquake, because he does go for Drain Punch again to get some health back and some leftovers recovery as well, but it's just not going to be enough, and Earthquake is going to take his Gallade out. So that is the first Pokemon that has been knocked out. And at this stage in the game, we've been playing for an hour at this point in real time. So finally one poke goes down, and it's 6-5. So yeah, out comes his Gliscor. Probably figured as far as attacking, Hippowdon can't do anything to it because he knows my entire set now, because I've revealed it. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do. And actually, I believe I go to Fortress at this point, because I did consider Roar, but it does have Taunt and it does outspeed me. So He goes for the stealth rock, probably knowing that I'm going to switch, knowing I can't do anything to his glide score. And I spun the rocks away earlier, but Fortress does come back out, and I know it. Fortress is slower than glide score as well, so I'm going to have to go for the payback at this point. And he's actually going to go for Earthquake, I guess just to get some damage on Fortress, because now he's down 2 Pokemon. So I'm just going to go for the payback. And after leftovers, it's really not going to do a whole lot, as it is a lead glide score. It's not very offensive at all. So he actually lives the payback, which I was like, wow, that kind of sucks. So, and he gets the leftovers recovery, so I can't do any lull, rapid spin, kill, and spin the rocks away at the same time. So I have to go for payback, and I do go for it as he taunts me before he goes down. So that's actually his second Pokemon that went down, so I do apologize about that, guys. He was at 6'5", and now it is 6'4", so out comes his Zapdos. I'm pretty sure the Heat Wave is coming. What else would he bring Zapdos out? So I'm just debating what I want to do, and he actually predicts me to switch out here, I believe. So he's actually going to go for the Roost, is what I believe happens on this turn. But we'll see in a second, because it's really pretty much coming down to the end game, and we're both getting pretty tired. I actually go to Heatran, and he goes for the Discharge. So he actually predicted me to go to Heatran. Why else would he go for the Discharge? Heat Wave was actually obvious. Actually, it wasn't, because I've been switching Heatran on Zapdos pretty much all game. So he wouldn't go for Heat Wave, else I'd get the boost. So anyway, if that made any sense at all to you guys. So goes for Discharge. At this point, I've burned 1 turn of sleep, so I know I'm going to sleep for 1 more turn. So I'm actually going to go for the Sleep Talk and hope I either get Lava Plume or Roar. And at this point, he is going to Roost, because he's at less than half health. So, because he knows a second Discharge won't take me out unless he gets a crit. So Roost is what he's going to go for, and Sleep Talk is what I'm going to go for. So I can go ahead and burn my last turn of sleep, and then I can wake up and then just go for the rest. So he does Roost. I do get Lava Plume on the Sleep Talk, which is awesome, because now that puts him in a position where it forces him to Roost again. And I'm able to heal my Heatran back up to full health, because I want to keep Heatran pretty healthy. Although I've taken down 2 of his guys, this Zapdos is really posing a problem, because I really can't do much to it. I don't have any hazards out, and even if I did, the only thing it's affected by is rocks and sand. So I'm gonna go back to Hippowdon here, because I decided to just bring my plan out into the forefront. I kept it in the back of my mind this whole time, so now I'm gonna bring it out to the forefront. And the plan here is to get him to burn up his Life Orb, so he can get Life Orb recoil damage. And between that and Sand, I wanted to get him down low enough to where he'll be in a position where he'll be forced to Roost. And because I'm slower, I'll be able to catch him with an Earthquake, and at that point he'll be weak against it because he loses his flying typing. So he goes for Heat Wave. I'm gonna go for the Slack Off. And his thinking process most likely was, he does have pressure, so he probably figured he could PP stall me out of Slack Offs, which is true. But I don't think he saw this coming, honestly, because now I finally get him in a position to where he does Roost, so he takes the bait, and I go for the Earthquake, and I am amply rewarded because I get a crit. So that is awesome. So I finally take his Zapdos down, and the rest of his team is pretty much at my mercy. I can spam Earthquake at this point if I want to, because all he has left is Jirachi, Tentacruel, and Snorlax. So he's going to bring Jirachi in now and go for the Grass Knot. It's going to do quite a bit to hit Powdon, and it's actually going to put me in a strange position because I am able to finish the Jirachi off with an Earthquake, eliminating another potential threat. So he's got two guys left, Tentacruel and Snorlax. Now he hasn't revealed Snorlax yet, and him deciding to bring out Tentacruel now tells me that Snorlax is most likely a cursed set. So, but now I'm in a pretty bad position because now I've got to deal with this Tentacruel, and Hippowdon doesn't have enough health to take a Surf, so I'm going to have to switch out here, and I'm not going to be able to hit it with Earthquake right now. So I'm going to finally decide to reveal my last guy, which is Venusaur. He's going to go for the Surf, and now I finally get to see if he has Ice Beam or not. But I figured even if he did, this Tentacruel's not EV to be offensive at all. It's the standard, looks like the standard support set. So even an Ice Beam is not going to take my Venusaur out. I have to go for the Sleep Powder, hope it hits, and it does. So now I'm pretty much back in a good position at this point. So, but I can't stay in with Venusaur because the only real attack I have is Giga Drain, and I don't want to use the Giga Drain on this Tentacruel because of Liquid Ooze. Venusaur needs to remain as healthy as possible because if Snorlax is a Curse-Lax set, I'm going to have to Leech Seed it so I can put it on a timer. And that way, even if it gets to +6, I won't be able to sweep my team. So I'm going to switch out and go back to Hippowdon on the guaranteed turn of sleep and just hope he doesn't get a second turn wake up and I can hit it with an Earthquake. So this is pretty much the moment of truth here. He's going to continue to sleep or wake up, and he does continue to sleep, and I am able to get the Earthquake off and take down his Tentacruel. So now he's down to his last guy, which is Snorlax. So gonna have to make a couple of tricky plays around this Snorlax as well, especially if it is Curse-Lax. So at this point I decide I'm gonna go for the Earthquake now because I was pretty confident I'd be faster than it, and I did want to test and see if I actually was, and I am faster than it right now. So he does go for the rest here, and he goes to sleep, and I still wasn't paying attention to leftovers, honestly, guys. And I didn't see Chesto Berry. So I think at this point is when I realized that he doesn't have Chesto Berry. So I thought it might be a rest talking set, so I decided to go for the Slack Off just to scout what he was gonna do, and he just stays asleep. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's definitely a Curse-Lax now. He just doesn't have Chesto Berry. So I'm actually going to switch out at this point and go to Venusaur so I can get the Leech Seed off, because it will be pretty bad if he used the last stat up Pokemon strategy on me and save this stat booster for last so he could try to sweep all my team members. That would kind of suck. So I get the Leech Seed off here, and he does wake up on this turn. He goes for a Curse, which surprised me, but in the end it really wasn't that big a deal, because even if he did take Venusaur down, I was pretty sure I could deal with this Curse-Lax, even if it did manage to boost up to +6 or whatever it got to. So at this point I just go for the Sleep Powder, hope it hits, and it does, because I didn't want it getting too many boosts. And that's pretty much going to be the game, guys, because he's actually going to run away at this point. And I switch back to Hippowdon, I believe. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much going to be the game. So good game, PacoAnduaga. I hope to play you again sometime. Definitely the longest game I've ever had up to this point. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Chun is out. Peace.